We have three major curriculum design models: that's subject-centered, learner-centered, and of course, you also have your problem-centered designs. Okay, so these are the different design models that we have. We start with your subject-centered designs. Of course, when you say subject-centered, this focuses on the content of your curriculum. Sa content ng curriculum mo, no? Sa subject ng inyong curriculum. This corresponds mostly to the textbook, the different textbooks that you have, specific subjects. The schools are divided, or the schools have divided the school hours across different subjects. So that's your subject-centered design. Yung pinaka-purpose niya, yung pinaka-target niya, no, yung pinaka-focus niya would be the different subjects. Okay, so say your principal is going to tell you your grade 3 students should learn 7 different subjects. Okay, so I'd like you to make your curriculum, to make your plan based on the different subjects that you will be teaching, for example. Okay, so that's subject-centered. Now, under this, you have your subject design. This is the oldest, most familiar. This is very easy to deliver. This comes with your books that are written, their support instructional materials. Your learning here is so compartmentalized. There's no connection. The students cannot make connections between subjects. Okay, napaka exclusive ng inyong learning. Okay, so the students forget, or this design forgets about the students' natural tendencies. There's no consideration of their experiences, of their context, what they're going through, their experiences, their interests are not considered, okay, in your subject-centered design. Okay, yung importante lamang, sabi ni teacher, matapos natin yung librong ito. Okay, this is the book that we are trying to finish, to complete in this semester. Okay, I don't care whether you're sick. I don't care whether you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, if I teach this topic in one day, I expect you to already completely understand this. Okay, I have no time for your questions. I need to complete this book or to finish this book. That's your subject design. The oldest, most familiar, marahil ay pinaka-traditional. Okay, now secondly, you also have your discipline design related to the subject design but focuses on academic discipline, often used in college. So yung discipline design mo, of course, these are all connected to certain courses. So say nursing, okay, so discipline design mo is based on the different subjects that you have to complete in that course. Okay, so that's your discipline design. Depende sa kung anong kurso ka, no? Academic discipline, ito na yung ginagamit mo sa college. Okay, now the third one that we have here is correlation design, a core correlated curriculum design that links separate subject designs. Now, in your correlation design, it's very similar to your subject design. Okay, pero yung pagkakaiba lamang niya ay it has already linked the different subjects. Okay, so the different subjects have already been correlated. The different subjects connections are shown. Okay, so that's your correlation design. And you also have your broad fields design. Sometimes it's also called your interdisciplinary. Also, oftentimes it is also called your holistic curriculum. It draws around themes and integration. Okay, so may different themes ka, may different integration ka. Broad fields design, you already have the collaboration of the different subjects. Okay, so different subjects all are collaborating so that the students can see the things that they need to learn holistically. Okay, so holistic design siya. Kaya tinatawag din siyang holistic curriculum. That's your broad fields design. Okay, now the next design that we have here, of course, is learner-centered. Very obvious. The learner here, the student is your focus. But primarily, this can be found in your elementary level. Okay, so your child, your experience, the different experience of the students are the focus here. And also, of course, this is also called your humanistic design because, of course, your student, your human being, that's the focus of your learner-centered design. Okay. Now, the first type that you have here is child-centered. These were from the influences of John Dewey, Rousseau, Pestalozzi, Froebel. These are anchored on the needs and interests of the child who engages with his or her environment, learning by doing. Okay, so child-centered. Yung child mo, yung pinaka-focus. sabi ni John Dewey, no, yung bata, hayaan mo siya kung ano yung interest ng bata, progressive siya, no, kung ano yung interest niya, kung paano siya mag-learn, yung multiple intelligences ng bata, dapat kinoconsider mo. Si Rousseau naman, he's a naturalist, no, so sabi niya, you should teach the child from the simplest to the most complex, okay? You have to follow the natural development of the child. Pestalozzi mo, ganun din, no? And also Freudel, of course, a father of kindergarten. Okay, so their needs, the needs of the child should be the main consideration. Ito yung sabi ng child-centered design mo. Okay, now next, your experience-centered design. The child remains to be the focus, but this one believes that the interests and needs of the learners cannot be pre-planned. Okay, so experiences of the learners become the starting point. You cannot plan, you cannot change the interests, the needs of the learners. You have to start with your material. If you were asked to go to a far-flung barangay, for example, they don't know how to use the internet, they don't have the internet, they don't have the computer, you start from that. Okay, the experiences of the learners would become the starting point. The learners are made to choose from various activities that the teacher provides. Kung ano lang yung kaya nila. Okay, you may put forth, you may introduce the various activities that you have, pero depende sa experience ng student mo, kung ano lang yung kaya nila, yun lang yung gagawin nila. Okay, that's your experience-centered design. Now, the next one that you have here, humanistic design by Maslow and Carl Rogers. We'll also be talking about them later. They stress the development of positive self-concept and interpersonal skills. It's very important that the child would develop into a responsible human, okay? Someone who's going to be productive. By being productive, we have to start with the child. The child should have a positive self-concept. The child should have self-confidence. And the child should be able to interact with other people. Okay, so yan yung sinabi ng humanistic design. Learner-centered design mo to. Okay, now I believe this is the last one. And the last type that we have here for your curriculum designs would be your problem-centered design. No? Sabi naman ng problem-centered design mo, from the term itself, this draws on social problems, the needs, interests, and abilities of the learners. Ano ba yung kinakaharap na problema ng iyong estudyante? Ano yung mga problemang kailangan mong i-address? Ano yung mga solusyong kailangan mong gawin or kailangan mong marahil ay hanapin pa para ma-address itong, ma-solve itong kanilang mga problema. Okay, that's your problem-centered design. Under this, you have the life situation design. This allows the students to clarify their views of various problem areas. They use their past and present experiences to analyze the basic areas of living. Okay, so yung pinaka-disenyo niya ay kung ano yung buhay ng inyong estudyante. Okay, so life situation design uses the past and the present experience of the learner to analyze the basic areas of living. Okay, so usually, hindi naman natin to ginagawa, no? Sa DepEd, for example, in our basic ed, we don't use this. We don't use the life situation design. Okay, so yung life ng estudyante mo, yung magiging core. Now, second one, core design. This centers on general education and the problems are based on common human activities. Okay, so core design, we don't also use this, no? So, ibang atake kasi itong problem-centered designs natin. We don't have this in the Philippines. Yung problema are based on human activities, and generally what they teach would be the core subjects. The core subjects and siya, no? It might be just language, math, a little of science, no? And of course, based siya sa common human activities. Okay, that's your core design. Okay, now we go to sample question number 7 here. Teacher Kathy believes that new respect for the child is fundamental in the curriculum. Thus, all activities in the classroom are geared towards the development of the child, the center of your educational process. To which approach in the curriculum does Teacher Kathy adhere? Is it letter A, learner-centered, letter B, problem-centered, letter C, subject-centered, or letter D, pragmatic? Now, of course, the correct answer here, sabi dito, new respect for the child is fundamental. And so we know That the correct answer here would be learner-centered. Tama yung letter A, that's learner-centered. We go to sample question number 8, which is not a description of the learner-centered curriculum. Which one of these is not a description of the learner-centered curriculum? Is it letter A, emphasis is on the total growth and development of the learners? Letter B, controlled and cooperatively directed by learners, teachers, and parents? Letter C, education is a means to develop social and creative individuals. Letter D, emphasis upon facts and knowledge for future use. Which one is the correct answer for number 8? Correct answer, of course, would be letter D, emphasis upon facts and knowledge for future use. That is not included in your learner-centered curriculum. Okay, very good. Now we go to the next sample question. Schools divide the school hours into different subjects such as reading, grammar, literature, math, science, history, and geography. What curriculum design is referred to here? Is it letter A, problem-centered, letter B, learner-centered, letter C, subject-centered, or letter D, culture-centered? Okay, correct answer here, of course, would be subject-centered. Okay, you see the different subjects here. It says schools divide the school hours into different subjects. Very good. Number 10, which type of curriculum design serves as a response to society's demand for integration of knowledge and enables the learner to see relationships among various aspects? Is it letter A, broad fields, letter B, correlated, letter C, core, letter D, separate subjects? And of course, letter A is the correct choice, okay? That's broad fields. Integration of knowledge enables the learner to see relationships among various aspects. Tama yung broad fields.